Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today this video will be split up into 3 different parts. The first part will be the first review, the second part will be the second review, and the third part will be a discussion on soap studios and just competition in the 1/12 scale world. So I don't have a script for this because a lot of my thoughts and ideas about this are really just, I need to get them out, and I don't think writing them will help in any way. Because I recently picked up the Soap Studios 1/12 scale Batman and Catwoman from the Dark Knight Rises. It just says the Dark Knight trilogy. And I have 2 other Soap Studios figures before this. I have the Green Arrow figure from the CW show and the Reverse Flash from the CW show. Don't have Flash because I can't find it. And I know that since then, they have come a long way. And just to give you a sneak peek as to what the end of the video is going to be about, I'm worried that Soap Studios is out of the game, which is a bummer because they were making solid progression, and I just guess their sales weren't as good as they thought, so maybe they're done. Toy Fair and Wonder Festival are around the corner, so maybe we'll see something there, but as for now, even on their website, when you go to the 1/12 scale segment, it says that they're out of product, and usually there's a pre-order there or something like that. We'll get to that later. Let's start with the Batman figure, and I have to say, I've watched a handful of reviews on this guy already just to sort of get an idea as to what people are generally thinking, and you know, I don't disagree with a lot of what they say. This figure has a lot of problems, but I do want it to be known that it looks really great. If you get him in the right pose and you have the right lighting on it, it's hard to say that this isn't a perfect representation of the Dark Knight. Now, I'm talking about the suit. The head sculpt is a different matter, but we'll get there later. But the overall suit detailing, the crazy vinyl leather details of armor all around the body look amazing, and I don't think that Soap Studios is getting enough credit there. Now, proportions wise, it's a little bit off. Batman looks a little puffy in the chest, and that's because it's actually pretty soft, and it is padding that they added on top of the body that they've used for every other figure that they have. But like I said, if you get it in that right view, if you get Batman looking like something from the poster, and if you get the right lighting on it, it's hard to say that any other figure looks as good on camera. Obviously, playability wise, the Mafex 3.0 is there. I have that one, and that one's also pretty hard to beat in terms of everything else. So now I will say that from the Green Arrow figure that they have done, this figure is a lot more durable, but still not very posable, and that's pretty confusing. A lot of the cloth goods here prevent great poses. The arms are pretty good. They go out and double bend. The hands are on ball joints, but they're practically swivels. The puffy nature of his abdomen kind of gets in the way, but it's not terrible, and I just feel better messing around with this figure than I do with the Green Arrow, especially with the pleather on that. It's already peeling for me. So like there is articulation there, it's just not as posable or flexible as a action figure, and that's to be expected. I got this figure because mainly I want mini Hot Toys or just movie accurate looking figures, and I don't need them to be super dynamic. I'm sort of heading that direction now. I've slowed down Mafex, I've slowed down SHF because I'm waiting for other companies or Mezco or whatever to do the cloth good ones. I just think they look better, I think they photograph better, and I'm heading that direction now. Who knows, in a couple of years that might not be the case. This isn't a full-on review, I'm just kind of giving my first impressions, and I will say that this figure comes with everything that I think a Batman figure should come with. It's actually very impressive, all the plastic accessories that are included with this guy. So let's just get into that, and I'll show a little video of them. And just taking a look at the first top tray, and there's already a lot here that I can say is standard for the Mafex, but not unappreciated. So 6 pairs of hands, including the ones that it's packaged with, which, I don't know, I guess I'm used to Nendoroids or something, but that's a lot of hands. You got grabbing hands, fists, open grabbing hands, trigger grabbing hands, and batarang grabbing hands, as well as the relaxed open hands that he's packaged with, and that's quite a bit. Then he comes with his grappling gun, and I always forget the name of this one. Is this like the sticky bomb one or the electric one? Comes with this backpack right here, which attaches on pretty easily. Comes with a separate head and neck sculpt with the glowing white eyes from the second movie. And you can, similar to the Hot Toys, you can change the expression by changing the lower mouth. And this is pretty goofy looking, but it also does look like Christian Bale. He looks pretty goofy in that costume. And finally, for the top tray, he comes with a Batman helmet or a cowl. And this is really cool. I don't think the Mafex comes with this one. So, and then finally, not for the toy, but a nice golden Batman 80 years pin, which I guess will go up on the wall somewhere. And moving on to the second tray, and yes, there's a second tray. Batman comes with 2 interchangeable capes. One is wired and one is not, and the option for that is always appreciated. He comes with 3 batarangs, 3 bat smoke bombs, a tool to help you get the face part out of the back of the head, and a Soap Studios stand, which I know they're not super posable or anything, but it is nice, and it kind of looks like a mini Hot Toys base with the name of the character on the front. I guess where I'm trying to go with this is that I wish more people took a look or took a risk with these figures. Now, obviously, it's up to them, it's up to you, but I think for my purposes of having Hot Toys in the 1/12 scale, this definitely gets me where I want to go. Overall, I'm not like unpleased. I actually was playing around with this guy, having a lot of fun, and I think it's going to photograph really well, which I'm super excited for. Sorry, there's a fan going, but as I was setting up this shot for my toy photography on this, do something like that, I figured out that if you move this shoulder piece up and out of the way and tuck the cape underneath, it sits really flush and actually just gets rid of that issue of the cape coming across the body and looking chintzy. I mean, it's not the best material, but that just really looks like it's supposed to be. It also keeps it tucked down, so it's not going to fall out like it does. And this is the non-wired cape, and I assume you can do the same with the wired. And moving on to a more difficult figure for Soap Studios, they attempted to make a cloth goods Catwoman figure, and the only other one that I really know of is the Mezco 1/12 Catwoman. That's the comic version. And I have this one in a pose already, just to show you that what you see in the box initially is not what you could achieve when you just spend a little bit of time and care into posing this in a better way. I've also watched reviews on this, and I can't disagree with what a lot of people have said, but again, for a tiny 1/12 scale cloth goods figure, I mean, the detail is amazing, and the sewing is amazing, and probably the worst part, again, is the head sculpt, and we'll get to the neck issue later. But if you just take that away, right? Pretty good. I guess that's the whole thing, that it's pretty good. It has its issues, but I can deal with it if it means that they're gonna keep going. And this isn't like my favorite version of Catwoman or anything. Probably Michelle Pfeiffer is iconic, but for this universe, right, it looks really good. And I think I would even say that the proportions on this are better than the Mezco. I don't think a lot of people would disagree. Mezco has had a hard time getting their female buck down. And the buck is the body that they use for action figures, if you did not know. Now let's get into her accessories. Now, not nearly as many as Batman, but still enough for this character, although there are a few things that I think could have been added. So this Soap Studios Catwoman comes with 5 pairs of hands, including the ones that she's packaged with: fists, gun holding hands, relaxed open hands, and waist posed holding hands, which is nice. Then she comes with good old-fashioned pistol, as well as an accessory for Batman, and I believe that this is the one that are like the sticky grenades. I don't know. I don't know my Batman weapon. And then she comes with 2 pairs of goggles that are different. One to actually put over her eyes, that plug into the side of her head, and the other to sort of pop up and recreate those little cat ears that she has in the movie. And finally, she comes with a silver Batman 80 years celebration pin. Not nearly as much as Batman, although I just watched the movie to sort of get prepared for this, and I don't think I can really think of much that is missing apart from more expressions. I think a different expression is the one thing that's missed in this. But getting back to the figure and the main issue, I even think that the likeness is pretty decent, but the main issue is that the neck does not match the same color as the face, which is really strange. And I tried pulling the head off to see what that was like, and it's actually the neck here is a squishy, rubbery kind of Fison-like neck, and so maybe that's so that when you move the head it looks more natural, but the skin tone didn't match, and that's just a QC oversight that they should have better prepared for. But I mean, still, even headless, I think the proportions look good. And like I was saying before, putting this in the light box doesn't do it justice. If you have some dynamic Gotham lighting on it, it'll look a lot better. This is the part of the video where I get to what I wanted to discuss in the first place, because I am happy with these figures, and I know a lot of people probably wouldn't be, but for what I want in a figure, especially in movie figures, it does exactly what I would want it to. Sure, could it be improved in some aspects? Of course. I think that it's always the case. And I think they were heading in the right direction. They were also taking risks, like making the neck rubbery instead of a hard plastic. Did it pay off? No. But I can look past it. I think this looks really good. I think this looks really good. And while I was thinking about how I would make this video, I came across a project that Soap Studios was supposedly working on 2 years ago and just was dropped. And I think this is, again, Soap Studios taking a step back and not really putting any more effort in their 1/12 scale line. Because I saw this image of a Soap Studios Aquaman from the Jason Momoa Aquaman from the movie prototype that was at a nameless toy convention. And I got really excited for that, mainly because no one else has done it yet, and it looked really good. Sure, maybe a bit buff, and they probably do the same thing they did with Batman, but it's just exciting to see smaller companies take the risk and doing these creative endeavors. And they are endeavors. Everything that this involves is more difficult than just, casting plastic and painting it. With soft goods, you're gonna have to worry about durability. You're gonna have to worry about how the patterns are sewed together. And then on top of that, you're including plastic bits to make the perfect figure. And that's why Hot Toys are so expensive. You could have 1/6 scale plastic action figures and they wouldn't be as expensive. Again, with the likenesses, they were getting better in my opinion. So it's just disheartening to see that it's vanished. And Soap Studios was also working on other 1/12 scale projects. They had Bane in the works. I think they had more Jokers, like Nurse Joker, and they also had a CW Arrowverse Supergirl that they were showing off at toy fairs here and there. And we're not gonna see that. I don't think we are. It's been like 3 years. It's not to say that other companies aren't popping up and doing this kind of stuff, but I'm disheartened because Soap Studios, I think in a way, deserves some sort of respect for being one of the first companies to attempt to step into the ring of Mezco. And don't get me wrong, I love Mezco. They do a lot, and they make a lot of things, and I like a lot of the things that they make, but they don't complete their collections. To see Soap Studios make 6 figures from this trilogy, the Nolanverse Dark Knight trilogy, is uplifting to me, and I wish that they would continue. I wish that they had continued, and I'm not sure if they are. That being said, I am happy with these 2 figures, and based on the videos that I put in throughout this video, I want to know what you think about Soap Studios. Maybe you didn't even know about them until now. I currently have my eye on their Soap Studios Harvey Dent Two-Face figure. I think just the overall suit tailoring on that's gonna bring that to life when compared to the Mafex, which is a plastic suit, which looks a little awkward. And yeah, are these glorified, overpriced dolls? Of course they are, but I don't care. I'm past the point of caring. I have a nice, kind of wonky looking Christian Bale Batman. He's kind of puffy in the chest. He's kind of maybe too short here, but I don't care because I'm gonna put a photo up. This is the photo I'm gonna choose to post on my Instagram to promote this video. I think it looks good. I think it looks good, and I don't hear enough people talking about Soap Studios. So this is just a Soap Studios praise video. Soap Studios Hong Kong, because that's what they are. If you're watching this and, I don't know, someone's translated it for you, please keep going. Keep going for the fans, keep going for the competition in the 1/12 scale space, and let me know what you think. Do you think Soap Studios figures are just utter garbage and not worth the time? Or do you see some sort of merit in their attempts? Or do you just not care and you're gonna keep going with the Mafex? I would actually like to know, because it would help me knowing if I'm the only one that thinks this way, or if there's other people who sort of would like to see more of this. Because Soap Studios actually got licensing. I think that's a big point as well, that the third-party figures that I've talked about, the Deathstroke, the Winter Soldier figures, those don't have Marvel licensing or DC licensing at all. They're sort of just doing it illegally. And so Soap Studios actually had DC licensing. That's why they have the pin and everything. And that takes, you know, even more time and even more care to go to these companies and get the approval. That's really the whole video. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. Let me know what you thought. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.